All right, good morning, everyone. We are going to have a Bible time right now, and today's topic is Jubilee. In Korean, it is called Hinyeon. As you guys have heard, we are giving our offering money to India. While many of us got the vaccine from the coronavirus, people in other parts of the world cannot get the vaccine yet. That's one of the reasons why the coronavirus cases exploded in India. And while we are not having that many cases here in the US, I was looking at the stark difference between the two countries, and I can't help feeling that something is broken in this world. Some people have so much, and some people don't have that much. But that is only part of the problem. The people who have much aren't really happy, and the people who don't have much aren't happy either. So what's going on? God has given us free will. You and I can think, and you and I can make decisions. You got dressed in certain way and you ate certain food. And if God didn't give us the ability to think and choose, then we simply wouldn't be able to make those choices. And with every choice, the consequence follows. And sometimes we human beings abuse the free will. We make bad choices and then we blame God. Many of the tragedies, hurts, poverty, and broken relationships happen not because God is at fault, but because we misuse our free will and make bad choices. So if you really think about it, the bad things going on around this world are mostly caused by us and not by God. But despite some mistakes and bad decisions, God still works through our mistakes and faults, and He works hard to overcome them, actually. And God has a plan and vision for our community and our society, and we are going to look at a picture of that today. It is God's vision for our community. In Leviticus chapter 25, verse 8, God says this: in addition, you must count off 7 Sabbath years and 7 sets of 7 years, adding up to 49 years in all. Verse 10, set this year apart as holy, a time to proclaim freedom throughout the land for all who live there. It will be a Jubilee year for you, when each of you may return to the land that belong to your ancestors and return to your own clan. To help you guys understand this, we're going to do some math together. So, the Bible used a lot of words, but I'm going to try to simplify it for you guys. And I got some questions for you guys. So pay very close attention. Try to get these answers right, and something good might happen, okay? All right, let's do some math together. Sabbath comes every how many years? 7 years, right? And 7 sets of 7, that's a basic multiplication. 7 times 7 is how many years? 49 years, right? And after 7 sets of 7 years, the 50th year is called, starts with J, the Jubilee. Yes. So the Jubilee happens after how many years? 7 times 7 plus 1 equals every 50 years, right? So this is how it looked like. So the Jubilee was called the time to proclaim. This will be the central theme for today's topic. Can you guys guess what it might be? Starts with F. Freedom. Yes. So in Jubilee, there were a number of things that God ordered to happen. And we're going to look at about 3 things today. So this is going to be a little difficult, but I'm going to try to answer these questions as we go along. So every 50th year in the year of Jubilee, God told the people of Israelites to go back and regain your land, right? And you might be thinking, why is God telling everyone to go back to their land? In order to understand it, we have to understand the history of the Israelites. God gave the Israelites, every tribe and clan and family, their allotted, assigned land. And you are not to sell or buy it permanently, because it was to be considered as the inheritance that God gave them. So you don't want to sell something permanently, something that God gave them. And in this year of Jubilee, God also tells the Israelites to do one thing. It is free slaves, right? Imagine your parents were slaves. Back in the days, if you ran out of money, you could sell yourself as a slave. If something unfortunate happened to your families, and imagine a world that you are born as a slave. How would you feel? And if you didn't really have a way of get out of your current status as a slave, and you have to spend the rest of your life as a slave working for somebody with no chance of gaining your freedom, how would that feel like? So God says, okay, in life, things may happen. You may come across some financial difficulties. That's fine. Every 50 years, give everyone, each family, each generation, a chance to regain their freedom and free themselves from slavery. And number 3, take care of the what? Who should you take care of? The poor and the foreigners. In those times, there were many people who are poor and also many foreigners in the land. And God says, really take good care of them. That's what the spirit of Jubilee was like. And I got some questions for you guys. And it's a simple yes or no question. 이스라엘 사람들이 희년 그 주빌리를 잘 지켰을까요? 아니면 잘 지키지 않았을까요? Do you guys read a lot from the Bible? People strictly keeping the laws and commandments about the Jubilee? Not really, right? And why is that? I think it's because people are lazy. We tend to forget things. At the same time, it is because people become selfish. Imagine that you are a rich person and you have a lot of slaves and you have a lot of money and a lot of houses. Would you want to keep the Jubilee? Not really, right? The rich got richer, the poor got poorer, and people started to not like and understand each other, and the world became a much more dangerous and unhappy place as a result of them not keeping the commandments about the Jubilee. And God didn't want that. Jubilee was a reset every 50 years, new opportunities every 50 years. And that's the vision of the society that God had for the Israelites. And obviously, we cannot do that here. We cannot change the law so that we have a reset for every 50 years. But why did we give offering for the people in India? Not only because they are poor, not only because we feel bad for them, but we are doing so, in effect, by partnering with God to take care of the poor and the needy. And we are doing what God commanded Israelites to do. And that is, I believe, what God's will is for the church. And our church has been giving our offering for the poor and the needy, not because we're good people, not because we just feel bad for them, but because we love God, and God specifically told us to take care of the poor, and we will continue to do so. In this praise song that we sang, this is a great song and I love this song, but I want you guys to really think about the lyrics. May our homes be filled with dancing. But I imagine that some homes right now are not filled with dancing. And I imagine that some streets are not filled with joy. And may injustice bow to Jesus. And in this world, there are many parts of this world and in many lives where the injustice is having a reign on people's lives and their neighborhoods and the fabrics of their society. And as people turn to pray, many people are not even praying. So in order for the words of the song that we sang today to become true and reality, we've got to do something. And that is for us to partner with with the kingdom of God. And we need to really have a foreshadow of the kingdom of God in this world. What is Jubilee? Is that a perfect system? Not really, but it was a picture and it was a foreshadow of the kingdom of God. And our job and our challenge is to recognize that if there is something broken in this world, we go and fix. We take care of the weak and the poor. We love one another. And I want you to ask and pray for the kingdom of God to come in your family, in our church, in India, in our society, in many parts of the world, and every lives of the people, because we are all God's children. So this week, this is my challenge and application to you guys. Pray for one of these things, for the kingdom of God to either come into your life or your family, in our church, and in the hearts and lives of the people who may be suffering. And remember, just as God has a plan with Jubilee, He wants to heal our land and He wants the kingdom of God to come here and now.